Good afternoon, team, and I hope you are all well. First of all, my apologies for not dialing in person. I am currently on a plane flying to Bali. I originally scheduled to dial in to you all. However, we had some passport issues 2 days ago, which meant we could not fly out. So I had to divert my flights to Monday. So instead, I've put this recording together to help you guys somewhat through this afternoon's session. I've provided you some homework. It follows on from last week. Conscious I was aiming to get you through that homework before this session, but in thinking about it, it's better for you guys to work together as a team on this, and we've got sessions planned each Monday going forward for some time. I think it's important to work together on this because it can get quite challenging, and there's much more benefit to your team and your organization if you all know it. On your screen at the moment is the asset management improvement plan that I put together right after our first session way back in July. What I want to do is provide you guys enough of an understanding of asset management so that you can get some key outputs delivered by the end of this year, specifically your renewals, operations and maintenance plans, and you've got a better understanding of your information system needs too. The two key pieces of information you need, the two key pieces of the framework you need are the levels of service and defining your data requirements. Furthermore, I'm trying to achieve some short-term, mid-term and long-term benefits for you guys. Ideally, between now and Christmas, you're in a space where you feel a lot less reactive, you're a lot more confident that you're doing the right things, and also you can communicate your asset performance and financial position more confidently, predominantly to manage the expectations of your customers, but also of your senior leadership team and governance. What I want to do today is pick up where we left off last week. I've put together about probably 80% of the levels of service table for community housing. So your challenge for today is to finish it off. If you feel like you have time or you're more than capable of doing it, I would suggest you have a crack at all your other activities. This document here I've put together provides you a step-by-step process to go through and putting your levels of service tables together. So again, you should be familiar with it from last week. There's a bit more information in here if you need it. The key thing to remember here, guys, is one, it's the process and it's the doing that enables you to learn. The framework that comes out of it is an additional benefit, but what I'm trying to get you to understand is creating the linkage or the tangible linkage between your day-to-day work and your strategic objectives. Down towards the bottom of that document, I've included your community outcomes and your council vision from your long-term plan. Everything you're doing should give effect to these high-level outcomes to some degree, some directly, some indirectly. The degree of influence on each will vary also. Back to the top again. So what I want you to do is work left to right on that spreadsheet. Print it out if you need to, or even just do it on the whiteboard or a scrap of paper. Start to write down and follow the process of how do we deliver these strategic objectives. Okay? Go through the customer service levels, through to the technical service levels. Keep asking how as you go down into the day-to-day work. Once you've got down to the technical service levels, and again, I've listed out the step-by-step way to do that through here. Okay. Once you get to the end for community housing, I want you to validate that framework. And when you're going from your day-to-day work back up to your strategic objectives, you're going to ask yourself why. Why do you do that work you do? As you go back up, I'd like you to test that each of these service level statements you've written somehow link to the reason why you're doing that work. Okay? Why do you deliver the technical level service? That should link to a customer service level. Why do you deliver that customer service level? It should link to your strategic objectives, your community outcomes. It's not easy doing this, especially if it's the first time you've done it. So be patient. Again, the benefit is in the doing. You'll find you'll get into a lot of detail in a muddy quagmire, but just have faith. Be confident in the ambiguity. This is the hardest part to get through. The next step I want you to do after you've done the community housing is have a look at all the other activities. If you've got time, have a crack at those. Break into groups if you need to. Use the learnings to write down the framework. Write down the measures, because the measures are important. That's going to define the amount of data you need. And I'm going to touch on that because that's the next session. Okay, so once you've done the levels of service, we're going to go to data. So pause now if you've run out of time. I'm about to jump into the data needs. So the next table I've given you, don't worry, it's not all about tables. There's a broader game here. I'm collecting as much information from you guys as I can. The purpose of this table is to list each of those measures where you're going to need to collect data. So I've thrown a few in for you already, deliberately giving you spelling mistakes. Not. Hopefully there's enough of guidance here if you understand what I want you to achieve. Work together on it. This will give us a really good high-level understanding of all the data requirements you need. More importantly, it's going to give you an understanding of how accurate this data needs to be. And have a go at defining how difficult or challenging that might be compared to what you do now. Okay, chuck in some more notes if you need to, because collecting data can be time and resource intensive. And if you can't see a benefit, then it's hard to keep it going. That's the next step we want to get through, but not for today. But what I want you to try and achieve today, or ahead of next week, is to list out all the measures you've put together and all the detail around it. Hopefully you're feeling a little less lost, especially after that previous validation exercise where you listed some of the day-to-day work you do, some of the projects you're on, okay, and testing it all the way back to why you deliver it. Have a go at that exercise within this too. Why do you need that data? What is it going to deliver to your organization? What benefit? Okay, this table here is going to help you understand what's the cost of it going to be. Righto guys, that'll do us for today. Just to recap, remember, well done guys, keep it up. I'll talk to you again soon. Cheers.